Our panel now. Avery Gardiner is co-president of the Brady campaign. Dan Bongino is a NRA TV contributor, former Secret Service agent and former NYPD officer. Good to have both of you. And Avery, I'll start with you. The president is now saying that it's up to states to arm teachers. One, is arming teachers a good idea? And two, is the president being firm on guidance regarding new gun policy considerations and recommendations?
You know, arming teachers is not a good solution to the gun violence problem in America. And I say this as a parent. When my children go to school, I want them to be safe there. I don't think arming teachers is the way to do that. And I also want my kids to be safe when they go to the movies. And I want my kids to be safe when they go to the shopping malls. And I want my kids to be safe when they go to church and when they go to concerts. So I think we need a solution here that does protect schools for sure, but also make sure that we make it more difficult for people who are dangerously mentally ill or otherwise dangerous to get access to guns.
Well, the president has also said in recent days that he's calling for more stringent background checks for gun purchases. And you add to that, Florida Governor Rick Scott, he wants to strengthen rules to keep guns out of the hands of mentally unstable people or those with stalking or domestic violence records. Plus, Governor Scott wants to increase the legal age to buy any guns to 21. So, Dan, I go to you. Is this the right template for other governors to follow?
Well, I think we all agree we want to keep firearms out of the hands of people who, and I don't want to conflate this all with mental illness, by the way. The overwhelming majority of people who have a severe mental illness are not, in fact, violent. We want to keep the guns out of the hands of the violent people who are mentally ill and violent people in general. They may not have a mental illness. But let's be clear on this. I speak as a parent, too. I've got kids. But I also speak as a former Secret Service agent, a security professional who did this for the President of the United States for 5 years of my 12-year career with the Secret Service. Why are our kids being treated different, Arthel? We protect our money in our banks with firearms. We protect our president, our aldermen, our mayors. We protect everyone else with firearms. Why are the kids being treated to second-class security and a lot of flowery talking points? The only thing that's going to stop a bad guy with a gun is a well-trained school resource officer or someone else trained to use a firearm in response.
And would you agree that maybe perhaps training teachers to use firearms is also part of a good solution?
Strictly on a voluntary basis. I would not want anyone in possession of a firearm who's not comfortable with it and not willing to train with it. But if they're willing and able, absolutely.
And, you know, there's a recent Quinnipiac University poll which asking which political, let's show it to you now, asking which political party do you think can do a better job of handling gun violence? Democrats saying 52%, GOP gets a 31% nod, and you've got 10% no difference. Avery, going back to you now, will politicians wait to see the outcome of the midterms before they decide how or if they'll proceed with gun policy changes?
They will not, because the American public is not going to allow that to happen. You know, what the president said at CPAC, actually, I agree with an awful lot of it. He said that we need to really strengthen up the background check system, and he is right. Today, 1 in 5 guns is sold in America without a background check at all. That needs to stop because we've made it too easy for people who are dangerous to get guns. And I don't think the American public is going to sit around and wait to the midterm elections to demand these sorts of common sense solutions that we know save lives, that are supported by the vast majority of Americans, be they Democrats or Republicans. So I think we're going to see movement on this much faster than November.
Well, the president's also calling for stricter background checks. Dan, let me get an answer from you as the final answer. Where do we go from here?
Well, the background check system we have now in NICS is not working because states aren't inputting the data. So can we fix the system we have now first? And Avery's comment about guns is just not accurate. Gun ownership is up dramatically in the United States. Gun violence and violent crime is down. That's just a statistical fact that's indisputable. Saying otherwise is simply not accurate.
Dan Bongino, I leave it there. Avery Gardiner, thank you for both of you coming on to present your perspective on this very important issue. Thank you very much.